Welcome to Madden Simulation of the Super Wildcard Weekend. Unfortunately, last week Madden did not end the regular season well. Madden got the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Las Vegas Raiders wrong to end its regular season on a down note. But on the flip side, that's all behind them. We're heading to the postseason. And for Super Wildcard Weekend, we are doing oldie but a goldie. As you can see, we are going up against San Francisco at Dallas. First time in a long time these two teams have met in the playoffs. It's been over 25 plus years, I believe. I think the last time these two teams met in the postseason was the 94 season when they met in the NFC Championship game and the 49ers got the last laugh against them boys with Steve Young at quarterback. Took them to the Super Bowl. Boom. And that's the irony. Well, no. I should say that's the last time the 49ers won the Super Bowl was that year. They did make it back to the Super Bowl with Kaepernick. I almost forgot about that. But the Cowboys' Super Bowl drought is large and in charge.
They've got to identify the spots where they want those plays to pay off, which means you have to set them up, and then when they present themselves,
first and foremost, we'll see if man can get the playoff jitters out of the way and go on a roll and correctly predict who wins this Super Wildcard Weekend. Not a big fan of the super part. I mean, yes, we got 6 games. Technically 5 on the weekend and 1 on Monday night. Not a big fan of the Monday night one. I've said before why I'm not a big fan of them playing on Monday night, because then you got the short week. And yes, you had the other teams that played on I'm looking at a calendar over here. You have the other teams, they play on Saturday, but then could play on Sunday, and that type of short week, but I don't know, yeah. So, but yeah, here we are, finally, postseason football, meaningful football, and we'll take a look how we got here in a little bit. I mean, for the most part, I think, well, I didn't have the Cowboys. That's my bad. But I think I was leaning too much on what happened last year. But the Cowboys weren't healthy. Didn't have their quarterback. You know, they were year 1 of McCarthy. And you know, nothing against big old Mike. But, you know, they were still gelling. So. And the Niners, well, they missed the playoffs last year. I mean, both these teams missed the playoffs last year. Niners, they were just riddled with injuries. They were coming off their Super Bowl appearance. And it was just one injury after another last year. And then they couldn't even finish the season in, was it Santa Monica? And, oh, the star's upside down again. What the heck?
Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott, and he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 7 yards.
But I mean, the 49ers couldn't play their last home game in Levi Stadium. They had to play in Arizona. So, but yeah, both teams, they missed the playoffs last year. They are, well, the Niners, they finished strong. They started strong and they finished strong. they got a little hiccup in the middle, and the Cowboys have been mainly dominant all year round. But we'll get to how they got here, how they made the playoffs, and all the other teams in a bit. But ooh, look at all that time. Now he's gonna run with it. But and we'll get around to picks. We'll get around to reviewing how the season went, how my preseason predictions went, how Madden's preseason predictions went. I know in the first video we simulated the franchise mode, and I know I was debating if I was going to do that again. I just simulated, in all honesty, if you want to believe me or not, but updated version. But we'll look at what Madden thought was going to happen. But as always, as the season comes to an end, some teams have to make the tough decision of who stays and who goes. And during the regular season, we had 2 coaches fired or released of their duties. And irony, one of those coaches, the team, made the playoffs. And that's Las Vegas. Las Vegas was the first team. John Gruden, he resigned as head coach because of all the scandals going on. And then it came down to week 18. All the Raiders had to do was win and get in, or tie. They almost tied, but I guess we'll talk about that in a little bit. But they tied, or they won and got in with as the 6th seed. Were they the 6th seed? Or were they the 5th seed? I think they were the 5th seed. They jumped. No. They were the 6th seed. Because, yeah, them and Cincinnati play each other. And Buffalo and New England are the 5th and 4th. No. Oh, man, now I gotta look this up.
Oh, they go with a tight end carry. Shoves him aside.
I'm gonna get all confused. No, they finished 5th. They finished above New England. Yeah, they finished above New England in the standings.
12, it's 1st and 10.
Yeah, they're the 5th seed. The Las Vegas, they won. They got the 5th seed. What the frick is that? So their coach got, he resigned because of all the scandals, and they still finished the season 10-7. Then you had the next firing took place mid-season. That was Jacksonville Jaguars, Urban Meyer, and they just, I don't know, the whole pick just was so flukish, in my opinion. He never, couldn't say he couldn't coach in the NFL. It's just odd. It's odd that he's been out coaching. He was out coaching for 5, 6, 7 years or something like that. Maybe not as ridiculous, but he wasn't a hot commodity by anybody else. And all of a sudden, here we go, and they ended up the season 3-14. And we'll get to that in a minute. Oh, and he's going to get the first down at least. Then Black Monday rolled around. No surprise. You had the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings firing both their head coaches and general managers. So they're starting over. They want a new GM, they want a new head coach, or one the same. And in all honesty, I'm for you have a GM, general manager, and a head coach. Not you get someone that they can work together. Keep the jobs separate. Some people can do both jobs. Bill Belichick, he can do both. Wow. I know Vince Lombardi, he was general manager and head coach. Mike Holmgren, when he went to Seattle, he was general manager and head coach. Some people can do both, where they can. Well, Jerry Jones, he's the general manager.
It certainly did, and it's really not a surprise because
but I mean, some people can do both jobs, some can't. But anyways, they fired both. Minnesota finished 8-9. Chicago finished 6-11. Chicago's first losing season in, I think, 4 years. That was 2017 season. 2017. So yeah, 2016 was the last time I think they had a losing record. Minnesota, well, they won't finish 8-9. They made the playoffs a few years ago. Chicago made the playoffs a handful of years ago, but they got fired. The big surprise. Oh, I forgot about that. And I should even say this: Sunday morning. Even before Black Friday, I forgot about this one. It just went over my head. Sunday morning, after the Denver Broncos hosted Kansas City, Vic Fangio, he got fired Sunday morning before the other 14 games took place. So he was the third coach fired. Then the Bears, then the Vikings. Vic Fangio, he finished 7-10 this year. 7-10. He was 2 wins away from having a winning record, but he had 1 year left on his contract, and they're like, "See ya. There's the door." So you had Las Vegas, you have Jacksonville, you have Denver, Chicago, Minnesota. Surprise of the day on Monday was Dolphins, Flores, but it sounded like there was more backstage, behind the scenes problems. So that's why he was let go, even knowing he went. Sure, he started the season 1-7, and won 7 in a row to go 8-7. Lost, go 8-8, and finish the season strong, going 9-8. And sweeping the Patriots. And they finished the season 9-8, yeah. And they were they were on the outside looking in to make the playoffs. So he was let go. And then they took an extra day. The New York Giants took an extra day. They had to wait till Tuesday to decide to whether or not, should we keep Joe Judge or not? And they decided, nope, let's get rid of him, because the Giants, their general manager retired, and so they're going to be looking for a new general manager. They're not going to be wanting the old regime. They want to start fresh,
That's a nice start for them in this one.
So, and I believe those are all the openings for the 2022 NFL season. You have Las Vegas, you have Jacksonville, you have Denver, and you have Miami on the AFC side. Then you have Chicago, Minnesota, and the New York Giants on the NFC side.
Drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. And coming up on their second drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they
so then the question becomes, which job is the most, I don't want to say prestigious, which one looks the best? Who would you want?
In the locker room and pregame, somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at the 34. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Flushed out right. They'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain.
So, and I don't know which opening looks the best.
he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 40.
If I had my say, man, I don't know. I mean, right now, Vegas, they're a playoff team. They made the playoffs with their interim coach. I mean, they wouldn't be looking for a new coach if stuff didn't leak out. And the question becomes, okay, did the interim coach do a good enough job to say, get the head coaching job? I don't know. But I will say the Raiders are a hot mess, just with all the off-the-field antics that have been happening this season. So
after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10.
So where are we in the game? Dallas is up 7-0. They got the ball back at the upside down star.
And he's got this one across midfield into 49 territory.
But
Nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's
I mean, personally, let's just think for a little bit. Who would I rather coach for? I mean, we know Jacksonville. They have a young quarterback. Okay, but who do they really have around him? You know, and what is Jacksonville willing to spend? I mean, are you going to find somebody convincing enough to go down there and be able to coach the Trevor Lawrence and get him, you know, in pro shape? I mean, you can say the same thing in Chicago. You have Justin Fields. He's young. He was a rookie as well. Is he? Can you mold him? And is it all around the quarterback? I don't think so. I don't think it's all just around the quarterback. In my mind, give me a quarterback that's a game manager at the moment. And I mean, I think one of the best job openings, if the players are going to listen, they're going to be disciplined, they're going to, you know, work together. In my opinion, it's Minnesota has a good opportunity. Because was that 2 years ago they made the playoffs. I think last year they missed it, but they were there. Look at all the games they almost won this year. Okay, they got the quarterback. You know, he can get it done. Kirk Cousins can and could get it done. They have a running game if they stay healthy for sure. If, you know, Jared Cook, is it not Jared Cook? I'm thinking it's Cook. If Cook stays healthy, you know, they're dangerous in the backfield. And that defense, same thing. Stay healthy, so on and so forth, and not field antics, anything like that. You know, they'd be back in the playoffs like that. You know? And, you know, they're talking about a similar thing in Denver. You know, it just sounds like Disney quarterback. They got some good young wide receivers. Defense still pretty good. They just need that quarterback. Oh boy.
Greg Zuerlein on for the field goal. It'll be spotted on the right hash. A 52-yard attempt.
And it is good. He missed it. Wide right. Must have been wide right.
Now listen, now no kick from 50 plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think I
Come on, that should have been good.
He would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years,
you would okay, so those would be my I think I've been swayed about Denver. And there's a lot of talks like, oh, Denver just needs to get, if Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver, you know, Shayna Woodley, she's from Denver, they plays in Denver, all that you get me as quarterback, boom. But then you have to think, who's else in that division? Not saying that really matters. Sure, you have to play them twice a year. Okay? You got young quarterback and Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, and Patrick Mahomes, you know? You would have to face twice a year. But like I've said, it's, you know, in the division, if you win your home games and lose your road games, and if you beat everybody else, if you dominate the rest of the league, you will go 14-3. So.
Second and 5 now. Garoppolo. This one into the hands of Kittle.
So, I mean, in my opinion, like I said, I think Minnesota's the highly valuable job. You got Las Vegas. They're in the playoffs, but they might just hire the interim coach. You know, depending on how he does this weekend against Cincinnati and how far he makes it in the playoffs. I mean, they came over trial and tribulation. Like I said, I think Jacksonville's a hot mess, just in general. Chicago, if they find the right general manager and right head coach, boom. Well, Miami. You know, why they fired their coach? You know, I don't know. Like I said, it sounds like there's more stuff that's not being told that happened in the, you know, either players didn't like them or behind the scenes action. But I mean, Miami's a nice young team. You saw what they could do. They got on a run. Obviously, they lost 7 in a row after week 1, but then they won 7 in a row and, you know, won 8 of their last 9 games. So, and then there is New York, I think. I think that's the last one. I haven't talked about that. And how much pressure there is in that New York media, and how prestigious the Giants used to be to some extent. You know, they've been around since the mid-20s. They've won 8 NFL championships, 4 Super Bowls, 4 NFL championships, and always been a dominant team in the NFC East, and just haven't been lately. They haven't won a playoff game since they won Super Bowl 46. They've only made the playoffs once since then, and that was the 2016 season, and they lost to Green Bay. And like they were saying how there goes Zeke. Woo, yeah, you gotta take him out. How they never fired a coach after 2 seasons, and they've done that 3 times now in the last 6 years. And like, who do you have there in New York? Is Daniel Jones your quarterback? Probably not. Do you keep Saquon Barkley? Probably not. He's a bust. But that's not his fault to some extent. It's the injuries. So.
Prescott being chased out left. And he'll take this beyond the line.
We move on. Well, that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. 7-0 Dallas. And now let's take a look at who's in and who's out. Who did make the playoffs? And, before I get that, I just want to talk about my thoughts on what happened. Week 18, Sunday night, Sunday in general. Okay. So you had, what was it? You had one playoff spot open left in the NFC, and that was San Francisco or New Orleans. The other 6 were taken up. And we'll start there. Okay? As you see, San Francisco's in the playoffs. All they had to do was win to get in. Okay? What happened? They were down 17-0 against LA. They're out in Hollywood, taking on the Rams. Whoa! And I do believe the 49ers had won 5 straight against the Rams. They've been dominating that series. Let's see.
This was just a letdown from the offensive line, but they do have a tough job because if you're a big tackle out there on the perimeter, sometimes you don't have the agility to keep up with the defensive end who's looking to wreak havoc in the backfield, and he got there and put his man on the ground.
Is that no? That's not going to be anything.
And that will be incomplete.
Let's see. Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco 49ers rivalry.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the
That's how they
underdogs
have
and
it.
you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball.
Come on.
Yeah, win that turnover battle going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
36 yards on the punt with no
Yeah.
return. And the Niners
They've won the last 6 matchups. The last time the Rams won a game against the 49ers was 2018 when they swept them. 2017 they split.
Here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now.
But yeah, the 49ers won 5 in a row heading into that matchup. And you know, they were down 17-0. And then the 49ers came on a rally, outscoring them what? No, they went to overtime. There was a lot of games that went to overtime, it felt like, on Sunday. At least 3. But they were all important games.
I'll tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, there's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force it in.
Yeah, they went to overtime. 49ers tied it 24-24. Went to overtime, and San Francisco kicked the game-winning field goal. And they made the playoffs. Unfortunately, on the flip side, here's New Orleans beating the crap out of Atlanta. They won their game. They're waiting. They're praying. Come on, LA. Come on, LA. Nope. Rams choke. Go up 17-0. Only managed to score 7 more points and be outscored 27-7. So the 49ers get in. The Saints, they get to watch from home. Oh, there's Kittle. Touchdown, Niners. We got ourselves a game now. And, you know, prior to that game ending, you know, if the Rams lost, that opened up the door for Arizona to win the West, who started off 7-0. But Cardinals, ever since getting their first loss season, they were downhill. They had a downhill slope, and they lost to Seattle, so they lost the West. So that was about the only drama you had out in the NFC, was the whole Niners, Saints, NFC West showdown, who wins the West. And it was pretty dramatic. But on the flip side, in the AFC, you had the AFC East division title on the line. Buffalo wins, they win the East. New England wins, and Buffalo loses, New England wins the East, and so forth. And, well, Buffalo took care of the New York Jets, so that didn't matter. And then New England loses to Miami. Somehow they just couldn't beat Miami this year. And I think it's like Miami's just been that Achilles heel for the Patriots as of late. But, you know, okay, so the Bills win the East and set up a potential playoff matchup, which we already know what's going to happen. So there was 2 playoff spots. New England had the other one wrapped up, stamped up. Just where are they going to finish? Are they going to finish 5th, 6th, or 7th? I don't think they can finish 7th. It was either 5th or 6th. And you had Indianapolis. Indianapolis, they beat New England earlier, and so I think they could have finished 7th. Maybe. Indianapolis, all they had to do was win and get in. Unfortunately, they had to play the team that, you know, they can't beat on the road, and it was that clown show in Jacksonville. Indianapolis has not won in Jacksonville since 2013. All you gotta do is go win and get in. What happens? With a crowd full of a crowd filled with clowns making fun of their owner, you lose to a clown show. You didn't lose, you got your butt whooped. Okay, let's be honest. Yeah, sure, it was 26-11 at the final, but it was 26-3 at one point, I'm pretty sure. And you lost. All you had to do was win, and you got into the playoffs. Boom. You lose, you choke. But unfortunately, all hope was not. All hope wasn't done because Indianapolis still could have made the playoffs if Miami won, which they did. I think the Chargers lose, which in the long run did happen, but we'll get there. And if Pittsburgh loses, well, we go to Baltimore. We have Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. Pittsburgh and Baltimore both have an outside chance of making the playoffs. Back and forth matchup in the rain. Congratulations to TJ Watt for tying the single season sack record. Shout out to Wisconsin.
Even if you get the first, you still got a half a field to go. I go ahead and punt the football.
And somehow, some way, it goes overtime. 13-13, okay? And keep saying, well, if it ends in a tie, it doesn't help anybody. Both teams are eliminated again. And somehow, some way, Big Ben, where it looked like his swan song was going to take place in Baltimore, he found a way to will his team close enough and kick a game-winning field goal. Well, he didn't, but set up a game-winning field goal, and Pittsburgh's playoff hopes were still alive. Big Ben, oh, he's so happy. One, you beat your most hated rival in Baltimore. You get to breathe, hopefully, for one more day. And then you have to sit back and wait to see what happens in Sunday night. Because it came down to LA Chargers and Las Vegas Raiders, where the winner would get in, where the loser goes home. But if for some reason the game would end in a tie, both teams go in, and Pittsburgh is sitting at home with their mouths wide open. And down goes Jimmy G. So, and the game started off kind of sloppy out in Vegas, but it started getting good. It started heating up. Let's see. Raiders took a 10-0 lead. They were, then the Chargers, they came back. They went up 14-10, and then Raiders go up 17-14 at the half. Third quarter, Raiders just start pouring. They get 2 field goals and a touchdown. They go up 29-14 heading into they go up 29-14. But just heading into midway of the fourth quarter. But then somehow, with 4:28 left in the game, the Chargers did not score once but twice with the 2-point conversion to force overtime. And they got the tying score as time expired. So it's 29-29. We go to overtime, 10-minute overtime, and everyone's like, "Are they just gonna call time? Are they just gonna run out the clock? Both be like, yeah, we'll both go to the playoffs." But let's be honest. Would you want your division rival in the playoffs? No. You want them sitting at home. Doesn't matter who you're playing against. Doesn't matter who you're playing against, if it's a division rival or not. You want to win the game. You play to win the game, right? Right. Okay. Both teams exchange field goals on their opening drive. And you have 43 minutes left. Or 43. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in overtime. Raiders get the ball back. And to some extent, they weren't really hurrying up. They weren't running in any fast. Weren't pushing themselves. And you run the ball, no timeout. Run the ball, no timeout. And this was after the 2-minute warning, I think. And they were in long field goal range. And I think it was like a third down. And all of a sudden, the Chargers, they call timeout. And Raiders run the ball one more time, get the first down and more, get closer. They call they've called timeout with 3 seconds left and kick the game winner. And Los Angeles is going home. We could have had the first ever Los Angeles versus Los Angeles at Los Angeles Super Bowl. You know, both home teams in the home stadium in the Super Bowl, but no, we didn't get that to happen. And the big question became, why did the Chargers call timeout when they did? You know, they were going to run. The Raiders were going to run the ball one more time just to get closer to the field goal range because it was a win-win situation for the Raiders. You know, they kick the field goal, make it, they win. Touchdown, Dak. If they kick the field goal and miss, they still are in the playoffs. Just they would play the Chiefs, I think, week one in the wild card weekend. So, but you know, Chargers, they had every opportunity. They fell behind. They came back. They forced overtime, and they just fell flat. If they would have got a touchdown, boom, they would have made the playoffs. But they didn't, and the Raiders are in, and they're sitting, you know, boom. So, who is in the playoffs, and who's facing who? So this is what the playoff field looks like. You have Tennessee in the AFC. They get the number 1 seed. All they had to do was win, which they did. They took care of business. It was a little tricky with the Texans, but they took care of business, and they got the number 1 seed. Kansas City, they had a little hiccup on Saturday. They got the W over Denver. They got the number 2 seed. Buffalo, in my opinion, a little disappointing season, going 11-6. About 2 or 3 more extra losses than they really should have. But they get the East. They're the 3 seed. Cincinnati, they went from worst to first. They win the North, AFC North, and get the 4th seed. Then your 3 wild cards. 5th seed, Las Vegas. Out of all the turmoil they went through, they win. They get the 1st wild card. They get the 5th seed. New England, back in the playoffs after a 1-year hiatus. Let's see if they can go on a roll. They finished 10-7. And then Pittsburgh, when it looked like Mike Tomlin, his consecutive non-losing seasons would come to an end. He somehow pulled it out. He pulled out, well, one time with Detroit. So even if he finished 8-8, he would have a non-losing season. But somehow pulled it out. They won. They're 9-7-1. They're in the postseason as the 7th seed. And there's Indianapolis, number 8, on the outside looking in. It's like all we had to do was win. How do we F this up? How did we F this up? So obviously, then you have then on the flip side, on the NFC, Green Bay back at number 1 where they belong, which we knew. Yes, they lost to Detroit, but they weren't giving it them all in that game. Their defense was a little shaky, which was a little concern for me, but we'll get to that next week possibly. But Green Bay, they finished number 1 in the NFC for the 2nd year in a row, for the first time ever since this playoff format, since the NFC was formed. Then you have Tampa Bay. They won the South at 13-4. Dallas, with their win, gets them over. They finished 12-5. They win the East. And the third seed, 3 seed, and a whopping 10-2 in the conference. You know, only Green Bay was next closest with 9-3 within the conference. Then you have the LA Rams. They're the 4th seed and the winners of the West. Then you have Arizona, 11-6. Started 7-0. You know, they started 7-0, and boom, they only go 4. They went 4-6 after that. So they're the 5th seed. 6th seed is San Francisco. They finished 10-7, and then you have Philadelphia. Someone had to get the 7th seed, and it was Philly at 9-8. They win the tiebreaker over New Orleans because they beat them head-to-head. So there you go. Now, that's how it ended. Let's go back. Let's look. Go back to my notes, my preseason prediction, who Madden simulated to win it all and make it and so forth, compared to who I had. And I had and so forth, and what really happened. We'll get that.
When you see zone defense and you know you got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage. Working with a 2nd and 4.
Let's see.
Play action now, Prescott.
Oh, wide open.
Wide open, Amari Cooper.
So, let's see. Do I have it here? Nope. I have to go here. First,
So Amari Cooper out of Northwestern High
we'll look
School.
at my preseason predictions.
And it's so funny that when I was going through the draft,
This is who I had making the playoffs on the AFC side. I had Tennessee. Well, there we go. Tennessee was the 1 seed. I had them at the 1 seed. Boom. Started off perfectly. I mean, I had them going 15-2, but that's besides the point. Kansas City. Oh, hey, look, 2 for 2. Buffalo, 3 for 3. Cleveland. Oh. They did not make the playoffs. And they was right with the AFC North finishing 4th. But then I had Las Vegas. I had them make the playoffs at 10-7. Well, hey, look at that. But then I have Baltimore and Los Angeles. Like, come on. If only ended the tie, would have had. So I got Cleveland, Baltimore, and LA Chargers. I got them wrong. On the flip side, it's supposed to be Cincinnati, New England, and Pittsburgh. And I mean, I had New England finishing 8-9. I had Cincinnati finishing 4-13, and I had Pittsburgh finishing 9-8. So I was roughly right there with those. But oh well. Then on the NFC side, I had Tampa Bay as the number 1 seed. Oh well. I had Green Bay. So 2 for 2 there. But I had Washington winning the East. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. I had Los Angeles. I had them winning the West. I had San Francisco as a wild card team. Oh, there we go. I had Arizona as a wild card team. Oh, there we go. But I had Seattle as the final wild card team. Oh well. So I got 5 out of 7 there, which brings me a grand total of 9 out of 14. So I didn't do too bad. I still have my championship games present, so I'm sticking with those predictions. I'm sticking with Tennessee over Kansas City and Green Bay over San Francisco at the moment in the NFC, AFC, and Championship Sunday, whatever you want to call it. And Super Bowl, I'm sticking with my pick. My pick is still live of Green Bay versus Tennessee, and Green Bay getting their 14th championship. And Aaron Rodgers potentially riding off in the sunset, saying, "Screw you guys, I'm going home." Now on the flip side, Madden 22 simulating. Oh boy. Madden had these were the 14 teams Madden had making the playoffs. Well, here we go.
Taking it about the 1.
In the AFC, I didn't write down standings. I just wrote down who's going to finish 1 through 7. They had Cleveland. I think they had Cleveland finishing 15-2. And we all know that was far from it. I said I would eat my hat. That did not happen, so I don't need to eat my hat. They had Cleveland, Kansas City, New England, Tennessee, LA Chargers, Indianapolis, Baltimore. So they got 3 teams right. Kansas City, New England, LA, Tennessee. Tennessee, New England, Kansas City. The other 4, dead wrong. On the flip side, this is where they effed up big time.
So far, just one catch for him.
They had Tampa Bay, San Francisco, Dallas, Detroit winning the North. It's like, yeah, right. Carolina, New Orleans, and Seattle. Those 4 dead wrong. So they only got 6 of the 14 teams right. But their Championship Sunday matchup isn't quite there because they had Cleveland and Carolina heading to the championship games against Kansas City, Tampa Bay. But their Super Bowl pick is still alive of Tampa Bay versus Kansas City for the 3rd straight year in a row. Not 3rd straight year, 2nd year in a row. And they have Kansas City beat Tampa Bay. So their playoff hopes are still alive. So I like my luck.
So it's not just the responsibility of the guys who missed the tackle.
So there's that.
It's all 11 on defense, able to stop this guy, unable to
do is that Trey Lance?
Play. They've got to find a way. How about his ability to break through and gain that yardage?
That is not Trey Lance. I just saw the 5. Oh, we're almost at 2-minute warning. But we will. So, obviously, the teams that make the playoffs, their playoff, they're not that. Their draft order will be based on elimination, and I think does it determine on when they're eliminated? That's when their draft pick is too, I think, which is semi-stupid. It should be based on their record. Like, yes, if they were eliminated wild card weekend, you do worst the best. Still in my mind. No, that's not what I want. Let's see. 2022, not 22 NFL draft. Ooh, it'd be the 87th draft. So we'll look at draft positioning. Was not announced alongside. Oh, so the draft will be in Vegas. Are they finally going to do what they were going to do? Okay, no, that's not. So this is what, and here is the thing. Going back to since Jacksonville won, they were guaranteed either the 1st or 2nd draft pick. We go to Detroit. If Detroit would have lost to Green Bay, they would have secured the #1 spot. But, like their head coach, which I completely forget at the moment, as soon as I look them up, Dan Campbell, that's it. He, they may have gone 3-13-1, but Dan Campbell is he just has he has it where you want to play for him. Okay, he former player, so forth, but his attitude just feels like that you want to play for this guy. But unfortunately, they didn't get the #1 pick overall. But he's like, who cares? We want to win. And that's what it should be. It shouldn't matter what draft pick you get. The first round draft pick you want is number 32, which means you won the Super Bowl, okay? But anyways, we got 2 minutes left. San Francisco is on the drive. And we got 2 minutes left before halftime. They're 1st and goal at 7. Let's see if San Francisco can punch it in. But here, this is what the draft order looks like. Jacksonville, they get the #1 pick yet again.
To throw is Garoppolo.
And, how are they going to mess up this time? Oof. Then Detroit gets the #2 pick. Houston gets a #3. New York Jets, 4. New York Giants, 5. How often did you see those two? Down that low. Carolina gets the 6th pick. Chicago trade to New York. They traded to New York. So
again, it's Garoppolo. Looking
Okay.
zone, but it's incomplete.
So New York Giants. New York Giants get the 7th pick because they got it from Chicago. I think I'm reading that right. Yeah, because Chicago doesn't have a first-round pick. Then Atlanta gets the 8th pick. Denver with the 9th. The New York Jets again, because they got it from Seattle. Because I think that was in the Jamal Adams trade.
And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Ross Dwelly.
The Washington football team, which
The 49ers have cut it back.
we'll get to that in a minute. I don't know if I mentioned that last week or not.
CD for them. This has just been an offensive explosion here in the second
I
quarter.
think I did. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. Washington football team gets the 11th pick overall. Minnesota gets the 12th. Cleveland with the 13th. Baltimore with the 14th. Philadelphia, thanks to Miami, gets the 15th. Philadelphia gets the 16th pick as well, thanks to Indianapolis. LA Chargers get the 17th, and the 18th pick will be New Orleans. The 19th through 24 will be the losers of the wild card weekend. 25 through 28 will be the losers of the divisional round. 29th and 28th pick will come from the losers of the conference championship games. And then 31st pick will be Super Bowl losers. And the 32nd pick will be the Super Bowl winners. So, but with that being said, Los Angeles does not have a first round pick. They trade that to Detroit. San Francisco will not have a first round pick because they trade that to Miami.
Now Pollard.
So there you go.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
Because yeah, okay, Chicago trade to New York, LA trade, the Rams trade to Detroit, Miami trade to Philly, San Francisco trade to Miami, Seattle trade to New York Jets, and Indianapolis trade to Philadelphia. I don't care about second or third or fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh round trades.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter.
7th round pick, Houston to Green Bay, Chicago to Houston to Green Bay.
Prescott on first down. And that'll be knocked away. It's
But
incomplete.
once after halftime, we'll see how San Francisco and Dallas got here. And like I said, this is the first time in a long time these two franchises renew their playoff history, playoff rivalry, I should say. Because 70s, I think 70s you had Niners and Cowboys, and Cowboys dominated that. 80s, Niners, Cowboys, the Niners dominated that one. Cowboys, they made the Super Bowl. They made the Super Bowl 4 times in the 70s, and went 2 for 2. Let's see, Dallas, not Phallus.
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20.
Dallas Cowboys, that's what I want.
After the penalty, it's Elliott. And he'll power his way up near the 25. The 49ers now
The Cowboys.
as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Those don't matter. Yeah, they made the Super Bowl 5 times in the 70s. Unfortunately, only winning 2 of those. And they lost twice to Pittsburgh. They lost to Baltimore, the Baltimore Colts. Those were their 3 losses. They beat Miami, and they beat Denver. That was 78, wasn't? That had been 78 or 77. Yeah. Oh, San Francisco with 1 timeout. A minute 20 left, has a chance to tie this game before halftime. Tie this game. Let's see.
San Francisco set to go on offense once more.
It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity.
Yep,
you
there.
can never have enough points with the high-power offenses that you face. And analytics
So yeah, they dominated the 70s. Then the Niners dominated the 80s for the NFC. And then their rivalry renewed in the early 90s, where obviously the Cowboys, they had the upper hand at least twice, and the Niners once, or 3 times. Twice, because the last time that the Cowboys made it to the Super Bowl, they didn't play the 49ers that year because the Green Bay Packers took out the defending Super Bowl champions in the playoffs that year. But then was Favre in Dallas in the NFC Championship game that year. But then that's the last time. Basically, these two franchises saw glory. The Niners got back to the Super Bowl back in 2013, but then they just got back to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and that's the first time they lost in the Super Bowl. Prior to that, the Niners were 5-0, and now they've been 0-2 since. Oh, now they blew a timeout. Let's see.
As the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half.
Can I go past? Yeah. No.
These guys have punted 4 times already.
Yeah, there it is.
They're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Garoppolo.
No timeouts. He gets sacked and intercepted by Diggs. Wow. So yeah, the 49ers, they dominated the 80s. They were NFC champions in 81, 84, 88, 89, and then 94. Prior to 2012 and 2019. Okay, yeah. It's been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that, but I would not rein it back in. The return on investment thus far has been pretty good. Packer Cowboys, Packer Vikings Cowboys rivalry. 15 seconds before halftime.
Next drive by the Cowboys offense. And with decent starting field position, there may be only a couple completions.
But they have 3 timeouts. They didn't get in field goal range, but they got called timeout. Ooh. No, they're not going to call timeout. So we're going to halftime. Oh, the heck! If they try out their kicker, that's so stupid. Okay, we'll look at that after halftime. Let's see what they do. That'd be 52. That'd be 57. A 50. Yeah. Oh my God. He missed earlier. Why is he gonna make it now? Stupid. Okay, I'll be back. Halftime. Enjoy.
Just short, no good. So we have come to halftime here in Dallas with the Cowboys out in front. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First up, though, a look at the next-gen stats for the Niners in that first half. And they weren't able to get a whole lot done throwing the football. That'll likely be a big key if they want to turn things around in the second half. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. Going to have the football and trailing on the scoreboard as we get back underway on EA Sports. This taken in at the goal line. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, well, get him right back out on the field and play again, right?
Okay, here we go. We start the second half. San Francisco down by 7. Can Jimmy G and company lead a comeback?
Positively here to start the third quarter. Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
So, okay.
He's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Like I said,
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense.
this is an old rivalry, especially in the postseason. The Cowboys lead the all-time series, 19, 17, and 1. There was one time in their illustrious rivalry. First time these two teams met were November 20th, 1960. 49ers 26, Cowboys 14. Last time they met was just last year. Well, last season. December 20th, 2020. Cowboys 41, 49ers 33. They are due to meet this time around. Postseason results. Cowboys lead the postseason. They've met in the playoffs. This will be the 8th meeting in the postseason, and the Cowboys are 5-2. Oh! Last time they met was January 15th, 1995. Dallas 28, San Francisco 38, and they went to the Super Bowl that year, the 49ers. And last time they won the Super Bowl was that year. And so forth. Championship success. They have 5 Super Bowls between the two teams, but haven't seen a Super Bowl championship since '95 between these two. Niners, like I said. Okay, yes, they have a total of 15 NFC championships between them. Well, okay, let's just back up just a little bit. Let's just back up just a hair. The Cowboys they've been in the Super Bowl. They lost 3 times, won twice, plus 3 more. So they've been the Cowboys have been in the Super Bowl 8 times. The Niners have been in the Super Bowl 7 times. Okay, boom. So they've been in the Super Bowl 15 times between the 3 teams. Two teams. That's incredible. You know. Unfortunately, and then also out of those 15, I should say, out of those 15, they've won 10. 5 each. 5 by the Cowboys, 5 by the 49ers. Unfortunately, they haven't seen success since the mid-90s, early to mid-90s. Last time the 49ers won the Super Bowl was 94. Last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl was 95. Cowboys haven't been to the Super Bowl since. 49ers, luckily, twice. Unfortunately, they fell short both times. That's the first time, like I said before, they lost in the Super Bowl. They are 5-2 in their record, and the Cowboys are 5-3. They've had 15 NFC championships, like I said, but look at the years at this. For the Cowboys, 1970, 71, 75, 77, 78, 92, 93, 95. That's last century. That's over 2 decades ago. It's almost been 3 decades since the Cowboys have been in the Super Bowl. And how can you be America's team if you can't get back to the Super Bowl? Then you have the 49ers. Look at this. 81, not 84, 88, 89, 94, 2012, 2019. So they've been relatively relevant lately, but they haven't won the big one since 94. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. So let's see, how did San Francisco get to where they are today? Why are they facing each other? Then we'll look at the other other matchups that are happening this weekend, and then do my picks. I know I said on my podcast what I picked, but I didn't write them down. I should really have wrote them down. But I think I can easily remember them. And so there might be a little conflicting what I said on my podcast and on this, because I'm poor. I should write my picks down. Like, I don't really care about wild card weekend, super wild card weekend, and divisional round. Oh, and he's going to be stopped, but he got the first down. So, we will start with the home team, the Dallas Cowboys. How'd they get here?
You have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting.
Oh, that's right. They had the Hall of Fame game too. So Dallas, last year was a very disappointing season. The 2020 season, they started. They were injury riddled, and they went. Under the first year of Mike McCarthy, they went 6-10.
They had a good lead as they went into the half, and they came out here in the second half.
So they're coming off a disappointing season, a very crappy NFC East, semi-wide open, but obviously they were the favorites. They're getting healthy Dak Prescott back. Mike McCarthy, he's a highly successful coach, okay? And how do they start the season? They go to Tampa Bay to take on defending, reigning Super Bowl champions, the Buccaneers. And unfortunately, they fell short. They came up short. They had the lead late in that game, 29-28, but Tampa Bay got the game-winning field goal, and Dallas suffered their first loss this season. Then things changed. They got their hiccup out of the way. They got their loss out of the way. And then they went on a little roll. They went out to Los Angeles. Beat the Chargers 20-17. Host Philly on Monday Night Football. Beat them 41-21. Hosted Carolina. Beat them 36-28. Hosted the New York Giants. Beat them 44-20. Then they went up to New England. Had to go to overtime, but they took care. They took care of the Patriots, 35-29. Hosted and went to Minnesota on Halloween, last game of October. They beat them 20-16. So one loss. They lose week 1 and they rattle off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. They were 6-1. Then the calendar flipped, and here comes November. And November was not too good to Dallas. First, they start off getting blown out, getting upset at home by Denver, 30-16. But then they bounced back. They took on Atlanta, who can't beat. Atlanta sucks. They beat them 43-3. Then they went to Kansas City. Kansas City embarrassed them. The old Dallas Texans taking on the old Dallas team taking on the new Dallas team in Kansas City, and they beat them 19-9. Okay, Dallas had a turnaround short week. They host Las Vegas on Thanksgiving, and boy oh boy, try and convince me the referees weren't out for Dallas, because those yellow hankies were flying left and right. And what happened? Boom. Vegas wins in overtime. I think Vegas had the most overtime wins too this year. Excuse me. And Dallas loses. They lost three of their 4 games in the month of November. To go 7-4, just like that. But then, like I said before, the calendar flipped, and here's December. bring on the Saints. They beat the Saints 27-17. Then they go on a stretch of NFC East opponents. They went to Washington for, what was that, Sunday Night Football? Or just Sunday afternoon football, whatever. They beat Washington 27-20. They go to New York to beat the Giants 21-6. They host Washington on Sunday Night Football to go up 56. They win 56-14. And boom, boom, boom. Just like that, right off 4 straight wins to go 11-4. Then they had to take on Cowboys and the Cardinals, who Cardinals have been on a downer. Kyle Murray, though, has never lost in AT&T Stadium. And what happens? What happens? They pull off the upset and beat them boys to give them their final loss of the season. Cardinals win 25-22. And then they head to Philadelphia. They put a shellacking on those Eagles, 51-26 to finish the season 12-5. So, winning the NFC East for the first time in a while. I think first time in 3. Let's see. Maybe first time. Damian Garrett's did the Eagles win it then? Oh boy, now I gotta look that up. NFC East.
A lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. That's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team.
Oh, that's not what I want.
You're in control and you're taking your
That's
team
not
to
what
the
I
right
want.
places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid.
This is what I want.
Deep downfield for Lamb. Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught.
Oh, yeah. 2018 was the last time the Cowboys won the East.
Frankly, I don't know that this defense knows what to do anymore. Just look at their body language out there. The passing game has
So there you go.
absolutely been relentless.
Last time, so they win their first division title in 4 years. Mike McCarthy's first non-NFC North Division championship, and he's back in the playoffs, so forth. So that's how the Cowboys got to where they were. Excuse me.
Throwing. Prescott.
Plenty of time.
Throwing the out route.
So now on the flip side, San Francisco. Look at how they finished last year. Might add, this was San Francisco's 75th season in the league, along with the Cleveland Browns. So they were celebrating 75 years as an organization. They too finished this last year 6-10, but like I said, they were coming off Super Bowl hangover. You know, they lost in the Super Bowl. They were winning. They lost. They had injuries. They went 6-10, missed the playoffs. Then, so they tried to turn their season around. So they started their season off in Detroit, and you couldn't start any better. They went to Detroit. They beat them 41-33. Then they went to Philly. They had an East Coast trip to start the season. 2 road games. They win 17-11 against Philadelphia. So 2-0. Hey, just like that, boom. They're off to a great start. Then they have their first home game of the season. They take on the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. And this is their first home game in since what, late November, early December of 2020, before Santa Clara County would be like, sorry, no large gatherings or group activities. So
Maurice Hurst picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
And what a thriller between Green Bay and San Fran that was.
Now they're looking at a third and long, and suddenly
San Francisco gets the go-ahead touchdown with 34 seconds left in that game. Trey Lance, I might add.
They'll need a big play here.
San Francisco with 37 seconds left. Oh wait, no, Trey Lance scored at just before halftime. My bad. But Jimmy G throws it to their fullback, Jowalski. There's one vowel in that last name. But Jimmy G gets the go-ahead touchdown with 37 seconds left. Green Bay has no timeouts. You know what Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams says? Too much time. Too much time. Because Green Bay, couple plays, one spike, lined up for a 51-yard field goal. Good. And then Mason Crosby went downhill after that. But San Francisco suffers their first loss against Green Bay at home on Sunday night. And then they started losing. They started 2-0, and then here comes the losing streak. They lose to Green Bay on Sunday night. They host Seattle. They lose to Seattle, 28-21. They head to Arizona out in the desert. They lose to Arizona 17-10. They host Indianapolis. They lose 30-18. So they lost 4 in a row. They were 2-4. But then, if they were 2-4 and they finished 10-7, you tell me the math. How they did sin. So they go out to Chicago on Halloween. They devastate the Bears 33-22. They host Arizona. Arizona, they get back on the winning way. Arizona wins 31-17. Not looking good for them Niners. But hey, the following week they host the LA Rams, a team they haven't lost to in 2 years. They get back on the winning way. They take out the Rams. 31-10. Then they got pick me up. They got an easy one. They head out to Jacksonville, put spanking on the Jags, 30-10. Then the Vikings come to town, and they take care of Minnesota, winning 34-26. But then they got another hiccup. First week of December, they get swept by Seattle. They got swept by Arizona. They got swept by Seattle. So they were 1-4 in the conference, in the division at the moment. But they bounced back. They had a thriller in Cincinnati, forcing overtime, winning in overtime, beating the Bengals 26-23 in overtime. Then Atlanta came to town. They beat the heck out of the Falcons, 31-13. Thursday night game, had a little hiccup. They lost to Tennessee, 2017. A decent game. Then they host Houston, kicked the living crap out of them. Was it what, 9-7 then? And then had to win to get in. They had to face the Rams, which, you know, like I said, they haven't lost them in 3 years, in 2 years, whatever. They were 5-0 against them in their last 5 meetings. And had to go in overtime, like I said, and they took care of business. After being down 17-0, they found a way to win and got the dub and won, clinched their spot in the playoffs. And now here we are today. They're facing Dallas in the postseason for the first time in a long time. So that's how we got to where we are between these two teams. Their journey from week 1 to week 18 and to Super Bowl weekend.
Turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Working from the gun, Garoppolo.
Woo, gets the first down and more.
And he's going to have
Is that
the tackles made at the
Debo?
Cowboys' 45-yard line.
Samuel, yeah.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football.
I'll be
The
right back.
scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. And he will go down. A Cowboy sack. Randy Gregory. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility, the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Oh, of course. Jimmy G gets sacked.
They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles usually
So heading into the fourth quarter, Dallas is up 31-14. And it's not over till it's over. San Francisco's got the ball. Yes, it's 2nd and 16, but it's a long way to go. I keep thinking about what else to talk about real quick. I mean, we're going to look at the other 5 games that are happening on Super Bowl, Super Wildcard Weekend in a little bit. But I forget last week or not, but apparently on February 2nd, the Washington football team will announce their new name, whether it be the Commandos, the Admirals, the Red Hawks, the Red Tails, or whatever. I forget. I think there's a list out there saying what the finalists are, but so they'll finally have a name after 2 seasons of not. But the other thing I was thinking about talking about is awards. I know I should have. That's the other thing talking about. No, I don't know how many other. I think Tom Brady did break some stuff. Whatever. Oof. But awards I wanted to look at kind of sort of real quick because that's been in talks about like league MVP. For the most part, I think it's going to be like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but how can you not go with Aaron Rodgers? That's be the first time since Brett Favre won back-to-back for the Packers back in 95 and 96. But you had Bruce Arians from Tampa Bay, like, if Tom Brady doesn't win, it'd be a travesty. And it's like, okay, yeah, statistically, Tom Brady had a great year. But it's not the most statistic player. It's not the MSP. It's the MVP. Valuable. Who's valuable to your team? It's not about stats. It's about valuable. If you're not there, your team sucks. Or if you're there, he changes the momentum for everything. And well, it's like, I know Matt LaFleur ain't going to win Coach of the Year for the 3rd straight year, even though he should have. He should have won in 2019. He should have won last year, and he should win this year. But he's not going to because he has Aaron Rodgers. What's his face for Cincinnati? He's probably going to win Coach of the Year just because he took worst to first, and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all that. Jamar Chase, if he doesn't win Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'd be surprised. That's about the only time you'll see a wide receiver win an award. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I have no idea, to be all honest. Ooh, no. San Francisco needs a field goal because they're down by 17. So, I mean, San Francisco needs his field goal, to pull within 2 scores. So going for a field goal is good. Their defense needs to make some stops, though. But like Defensive Player of the Year, I don't know. If anything, Tom Brady's going to win Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt. But yeah, I'm going with sacks and stats and stuff. Diggs, maybe, but I gotta go with TJ Watt probably for Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know what else is out there for awards. But speaking of stats, we'll look at that real quick. Who led the league and everything, and then we'll get to the preview of the other 5 games. My picks there, because the quarterback that leads the league in passing yards has never won the Super Bowl the same year. So if trends are our friends, that means we could take a big sigh of relief. And Tampa Bay is not going to repeat as Super Bowl champions. Tom Brady's not going to win his 8th Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just
but
thinking
looking at stats,
to keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs.
You had Tom Brady lead the league in passing yards with 5,316. Justin Herbert with 5,014. Stafford almost had another 5,000-yard year, but rushing yards, Jonathan Taylor. I gotta look at Dalvin Cook, that's his name. I'll have to look at this. This is the sad thing. Okay, Jonathan Taylor finished with the most rushing yards. He wins the rushing title at 18-11. Nick Chubb at 12:59. And Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, and Dalvin Cook. Antonio Gibson had 1,000 yards rushing. Zeke Elliott had 1,000 yards rushing. But here, Derrick Henry, who hasn't played since like week 8 or week 9. Excuse me. He only played 8 games, and he finished 9th on the list of rushing yards. So just imagine where he would have been if he was healthy all year. And he gets an extra week off, and he might be back divisional round for Tennessee. And he's not going to be the same. Let's be honest. He's not going to quite be the same. He'll have some moves here and there, but... So yeah, Jonathan Taylor wins the rushing title.
It's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves
receiving title. I know, Cooper Kupp had 1,947 yards. I think he broke Megatron's record. Could be mistaken. I don't know. They didn't say anything. That's the thing. Ooh, they forced a fourth down. Punt unit comes out. But Cooper Kupp did win the Triple Crown, most receiving yards, most receiving receiving yards, receptions, and touchdowns. Defense, tackles. Some guy from Atlanta, Olokokin, 192 tackles. T.J. Watt led the league in sacks with 22.5. Interception, Diggs with 11. And that's about it. They'll look at stats wise. But then we'll get to. I'll have to write this down in a minute.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw.
Plenty of time, but he's got to get rid of it. He's gonna lose yards. Okay, good.
The throw didn't give him a chance to turn it upfield, and that brings up second down.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice.
Okay.
The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Okay. No, that's not what I want.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Garoppolo.
Plenty of time for Jimmy G. Finds his receiver.
He'll dump that one off to Mitchell. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
What's the other one? Oh, yeah, New England and Buffalo's on Saturday night.
Where they're down a couple scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together?
San Francisco versus Dallas. Yeah, I know. This is so entertaining to watch. Sunday night game, oh boy.
32 now. Here's 1st and 10. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And on the stop, Demonte Casey.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run.
Okay.
Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people.
So here's wild card, super wild card weekend. Emphasis on super.
Here's 2nd and 5.
We have Las Vegas at Cincinnati is the early game on Saturday. Then you have New England at Buffalo Saturday night. Sunday you have noon. You have Philadelphia at Tampa Bay. Late game, San Francisco at Dallas. Sunday Night Football, Pittsburgh at Kansas City. And Monday Night Football, you have Arizona at LA Rams. And out of those 6 matchups, this one, San Fran, Dallas, is the only one we did not see at all in the regular season. We saw Buffalo and New England twice. We saw Arizona and LA Rams twice. We saw Pittsburgh and Kansas City. We saw Cincinnati and Las Vegas. And we saw Philly and Tampa Bay. The locations might have been switched, but it doesn't matter to some extent. We already seen these matchups. So we start on Saturday. We have Cincinnati and Las Vegas. Cincinnati's hosting the Raiders. And Cincinnati is going to have an edge. Yeah, that's one. They played each other back in November in Las Vegas. And Cincinnati had the upper hand that time. And you know what? I believe that's going to happen again. But I suppose it depends on how healthy Joe Burrow is. Oh, they got to go for it now. They have to go for it. 4th and 7. They can't punt away with 8.5 minutes left in the game. They have to go for it. So, depending on how healthy Joe Burrow is, I still got to go with Cincinnati. I think since Cincinnati was that surprise team this year, in my opinion, that, you know, because they went from worst to first. And this got some upset. Oh, come on. You can't punt now. You have to go for it. Oh. So, I'm going with Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's the better team. And they might just rule the AFC North from years to come if they stay healthy and so forth, and they keep that going. So yeah, I'm picking Cincinnati. New England at Buffalo, rubber match. Last time these two teams played in Buffalo, New England won, with Mac Jones only completing 2 passes and only attempting 3. If memory serves. And it was windier than who knows. Oh, now, yeah, they're going to be milking that clock now. And then Buffalo returned the favor when they went to New England and kicked the crap out of the Patriots. But I think Buffalo learned from their first time hosting New England. I know Bill Belichick is the veteran coach. Both teams know how to beat each other. But I gotta go with the home team here. I'm going Buffalo. I think Buffalo is going to find a way to win. They have all the talent. But remember, this is a team that lost, was one of 3 wins for Jacksonville. They lost to Jacksonville. They lost to New England the first time around. And this depends on the weather. But like I said, I like Buffalo. I think they'll get done. They get the win over New England.
On the option, here's Elliott. Zeke with a shake and bake.
They're just run that ball. Time's ticking. Okay, those are the Saturday games. Sunday's games. Philadelphia at Tampa Bay. We saw this game earlier in the season on Thursday Night Football. I mean, Philadelphia had nothing to play for really against Dallas last week, and they just laid down the rest of their starters and hope for the best. But we saw this early in the season, semi-early, Thursday night, October 14th. That was what, week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Week 6 we saw this matchup. And Philly lost by 6, 20 to 22. And I would just, Tampa Bay's banged up. They had a few scares, but they're the home team. But you know what? We need an upset over the weekend, and I want Philly. I want Philadelphia. So I'm going to pick Philly just because I know what I'm putting my record on the line.
They'll run on first down. Elliott.
I'm going with Philadelphia with the pull the upset. If Philly can play smart, and boom, there we go. Get down.
You can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the fourth quarter.
Then we got San Francisco versus Dallas, this game. And at the moment, I like it. I like Dallas. I think Dallas is the better team. They're a bigger threat. Oh, there goes Zeke. And yes, I'm going with Dallas in this one. I'm going with Dallas. I mean, they did start what? They were November. Like Mike McCarthy always has a crappy month, where it's like, oh crap, just hit the fan, type thing. And he got that out of the way. Yes, he had another loss. It was against Arizona at home, but like the second to last week of the regular season, Mike McCarthy always finds a way to lose. Always has a way, finds the ways to lose it to us. And it was kind of a fluke. But, like I said, I think Dallas will find a way, they'll bounce back. So we go to the Sunday night game. Kansas City versus hosting Pittsburgh. And we saw this just a few weeks ago. The day after Christmas, week 16. Yeah, 16. And Pittsburgh just got dominated by Kansas City. Kansas City won 36-10. And you know what? I think it's going to be a similar matchup. Big Ben does not have it in him. Big Ben's not going to find a way. He's not going to find a way to pull it off. He's just going to get dominated by Kansas City, who's been red hot lately. They had a little hiccup in Cincinnati, but after starting 3-4, they turned stuff around and have only lost one game since. And Kansas City is going to roll on to the divisional round. That leaves us with the Monday night game, the first ever Monday night wildcard game. Oh, Dallas has itself for a field goal? So what would that be? That'd be 17.
And Zerline's kick is good. And that will extend their lead even.
That leaves us with Monday Night Football. Arizona at LA. Cardinals went to LA earlier in the year. Arizona went to LA earlier in the year. What, week 3, week 4? Oh no, that was week 5. No, 1, 2, 3, week 4. And they dominated, they won in LA. But on the flip side, what week is that? Week 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Week 14, Monday Night Football. LA returned the favor. They went to Arizona and beat them on Monday Night Football. So, a rematch for Monday Night Football. Arizona's been on the downswing. The Rams, I think that was their first win after that loss. No, that's not what I want.
And the complexion of this one has really changed a fair amount. That last field goal makes it a 3-score game, so they need points in a hurry with time dwindling in the fourth quarter.
God damn, this stupid app. You know what I mean? This would be easier.
Niners up here first and 10. 22.
Yeah.
He'll set up to throw from the gun. Left side, that's caught.
Let's see.
Mitchell.
No, that was, the Rams were coming off a 3-game losing streak, heading into the month of December. They beat Jacksonville. Then they hosted they went to Arizona, beat them. And they haven't lost since the final week. They won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. They gave them 12-4. They lost, and then 12-5. So the Rams are, I think they're getting healthier. I think they had the COVID scare, and now it's over with. But you know what? I'm going with a gut feeling, just like with Philly. I'm going with Arizona. I think Arizona can pull off the upset. They're somewhat getting healthier. Sure, they get J.J. Watt back, but let's be honest, J.J. is not the defensive player of the year that he was. A 3-time defensive player of the year. So,
throwing again on second down. Garoppolo.
3 Niner players standing right there and bounce off of that. Here we go, 3rd and 10, 2 seconds before a 2-minute warning.
This team's gonna have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
An incomplete pass on second down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Back to throw.
Oh, that was a backward pass. And now we're at 2-minute warning.
Under 2 minutes to go.
You got 2 minutes to do something or other. Oh, that's not. Where's my Madden simulations? There, that's the one thing I want to put down.
So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking.
4th and 9, and he gets sacked.
He's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. They had to go for it with such.
And the question is, will San Francisco use their timeouts? It doesn't pay. It really doesn't pay for them to call timeout because they're already in field goal range. They kick another field goal. They're down by 20. It's going to be 17 to 36. Right? Or 37, not 36. What am I talking about?
Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts.
Doesn't pay. But I mean, Dallas ain't going to take a knee because that's just not how man is set up. So.
There's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. They'll try and run some
stop him.
as they keep it on the ground. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss.
So, tick, 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 tick. Man, I agree with Man here. I think Dallas is the better team, superior team. The team with momentum, but last few times Mike McCarthy played San Francisco in the playoffs, he was on the losing end. Sure, that was with Harbaugh and Kaepernick, but
they go to Elliott again. He will push his way down to about the 14.
And oh no, Dallas is they're going to kick a field goal. They know they are.
About defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that.
Don't pass it.
Figured that one out.
No. He throws it away. So stupid. Why? All you gotta do is run the ball again, and now you're gonna kick a field goal.
They didn't call for grounding on this one. That was a good 10 feet over everyone's head.
Well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. Zerline's kick is up and through, and that will push this lead up to 20 now. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And in this league, you can never have enough points, but this one's not, as you said.
No, I mean, the 2 games on Saturday, they should be fun and exciting to watch. Sunday, yeah, this is about the only one that you can think of that could be entertaining if Tampa Bay has their way with Philadelphia. You pretty much think Kansas City is going to have their way with Pittsburgh. this one, two competitive teams. Hopefully, renew that rivalry. And then Monday night could be a close game. So,
Here comes a return from just beyond the goal line.
15 seconds. Let's get this over with. End it.
Out to the 16-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They have a little bit of time left here, but this one not going to go their way.
Oh, man. Of course he's going to throw it. Please sack him. Oh, man. If there was a safety, I would have been so mad.
See what they do here in this last sequence.
Well, when you've got a tight end who can run, you've got to give him a shot.
7 seconds. Run the ball. Take a knee. Get sacked. I don't care. End the game.
Looking to throw.
There we go. Last play of the game. Because this is going to change everything. And it's intercepted by who? Diggs! Diggs gets the interception once again. Oh, there you go. There you have it. Dallas. Them boys get them W. Advances to the divisional round according to Madden. And brings it one game closer. Now, they cannot play Green Bay because they're the 3 seed. So, if we want to see Mike McCarthy versus Green Bay, we gotta wait until Championship Sunday, which is very plausible still. So, there you go. There you have it. Dallas gets the win, 37-17 over San Francisco and advances to the divisional round. So, thanks for watching. Enjoy Super Wildcard Weekend. And we'll see you next week, divisional round. Hoping for a great matchup. And until then, adios, muchachos.